and welcome to Lunchtime series where we add value to people's lives, happening every week on ebizradio.com. For our lunchtime marketing segment, proudly supported by Hollard Insurance, hashtag big ads for small businesses. As per usual, our marketing and communications expert, Craig Pagely. How are you doing, Craig?
I'm well, Kevin. Yeah, here we are into the second month of 2022 already. I can't believe it.
I know. It's been. I can't believe that we actually at this point where it's 22 is already in the throw of things. I'm like, I was shocked when it was like, it's actually February. But I mean, Craig, we had a great start to the series of 2022 last week when we covered some key trends and expectations for the industry this year. With this in mind, can you share with us and the listeners the key takeaways from the insightful discussion?
Yeah, Kevin, thanks. Yes. What I really appreciated about last week's show was the opportunity to introduce our listeners to a really great thinker and straight down the line shooter, that being David Sable. Forthright, constantly challenging status quo in a very provocative but informative style. So, I've now joined his newsletters and weekly, I must tell you, the conversation that he presents is just formidable. It really is. But going back to your question, a few of the key takeaway points from the conversation last week covers a bit about how consumers are actually feeling at this moment in time, Kevin. So 4 key points that I want to just pick up as the reminder there. Consumers want options. And it's actually quite a good starting point because it leads fantastically into the bigger conversation we're going to have today, really. But it's rare to find shoppers who solely engage online or in physical stores. They're taking advantage of multiple channels depending on the context of that moment in time. Yeah. Point 2 is trust is being placed in real people. Celebrity endorsers have lost some of their luster, which for me I think is actually a good thing. And instead, buyers would rather hear from people they know, and that word of mouth referral really is gaining traction again. Social responsibility is definitely a rising focal point for consumers, and this is great, especially in the younger generations. And the features and benefits of the products or services are no longer enough to actually satisfy customers, as we know. The products and services will still be made ethically and with the right intentions in mind, and that really is an important point. And the last reminder as a takeaway is that brands are still not doing a great job of meeting their customers' expectations for personalization. Much more work needs to be done in this particular space, and truly knowing, understanding, and engaging customers on a one-on-one level will help rectify that. And a lot of that comes on the back of understanding the importance and use of effective content. And those are the takeaways from last week.
Fantastic. Thanks, Craig. Thanks for that recap. I do recall that you did mention that we're going to have a very special guest with us joining us today. So don't you want to sort of tell us what can we expect today?
Correct, Kevin. Yes, we have a special guest joining us. Grace Mumo, the founder and CEO of Luxury Xclusives, which is an African platform for African luxury goods, is our special guest. And Grace, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Grace. Great to have you as a guest.
Thank you so much, Kevin and Craig, to be your guests today. And I'm really looking forward to the show and looking forward to some insights and really sharing with the guests, with the listeners on what's really about to happen in the industry. Thank you.
Fantastic, Grace. Yeah, and you are our first guest for 2022. So really, thank you for stepping into that particular role. But before we get into the conversation today, I just want to formally introduce Grace to our listeners and provide a brief overview of Grace's career journey, as this definitely will help set the context to the conversation we're going to have, because there's key moments in Grace's career that have really taken her to this position. So for our listeners, Grace has over 15 years experience working with some of the world's leading brands and multinationals, including the likes of Aventis Pharmaceuticals, Siemens, closer to home, Vodacom and MTN, Clickatel and the Myriad Group. Grace's experience straddles from financial services, pharmaceuticals, ICT, and the telco sectors in key markets across the African continent. Extensive experience on the African continent. Grace is a seasoned entrepreneur and, here we go, has been recognized as an influential woman in business and professional services on the African continent. As such, Grace has won various awards, including the Continental Award 2020 in Media, the SADC Regional Award, and winner 2019 in Business and Professional Services, and the South African Country Award winner 2019 in the SME category. So, yeah, Grace, welcome to the show. And with those great awards, I'm sure we're going to learn lots from you today.
Thank you so much, Craig. I think it's been an incredible journey, full of fulfillment, full of growth, and ready to share some of the insights with our listeners today. And hopefully we can get conversations going. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that, Grace. I think fulfillment and growth, exactly where, what we need to hear about and how you did it. And picking up where Craig left off, I know that you have been active in luxury brand space for the past 6 years. So entering into that sector, when you became the CEO of the Luxury Network Kenya in 2015, then launching the Luxury Media Africa in 2017, please will you give us a brief overview of how you got into the world of luxury brands and where were some of the challenges that you faced on the journey?
Thank you so much, Kevin. And indeed, the journey into the world of luxury is one that has been extremely fulfilling. One of the things that really drove me into the segment is after various travels into Africa, I got to realize how beautiful Africa was in terms of the resources, the art, the culture, the richness in our fashion, and all the likes. And I kind of got to realize we really don't have one single platform that gets to expose these products into the rest of the continent. And having been into the corporate world and having traveled in over 30 markets in Africa, I felt, wow, there has to be a platform that really gets to connect people and that gets to showcase what we have across our continent. And that is how my journey really started, unpacking what we have in the continent, really connecting with the likes of the media agencies to really get to understand how we can package what is in the luxury space from an Africa perspective and get to showcase that to the rest of the world. So it's still a segment that is still highly untapped in Africa. We're still not fully utilizing the platform. We predominantly now in South Africa. However, our desire is to reach to each and every business that is in the business of luxury in Africa and give them an opportunity to really showcase and create market access for those brands to the rest of the world.
Amazing.
That's absolutely amazing. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Grace, you mentioned Luxury Exclusive International, and when you and I spoke last week, I got to learn about your vision to create this fantastic marketplace for your high-end brands. And you've been working with your team to build and develop the beginnings of the first complete 3D virtual mall in South Africa. Having played around in the platform, and I can see that you're understanding how to leverage this virtual mall proposition, but not just in terms of bringing that sort of new dimension to the e-commerce experience for each of the brands. It's actually your understanding of digital media that stood out for me, because as you go on your journey through the mall, it's not just about the shop fronts. You've understood the opportunity for the totems, the media platforms, secondary opportunities to engage and interact with other brands that might not necessarily be in the actual mall itself. But yeah, so that, I assume, obviously comes from launching that experience comes from launching your own media business.
Yeah.
Does that stand as a true statement?
Absolutely, Craig. And I think one of the things that in our journey we've experienced is that there's so much innovation and technology is just driving the market to a point where if you are not catching up, you are definitely going to be left behind. So one of the things that really we've done for us is to create a holistic 360-degree digital media agency that really incorporates quite a number of segments. The first segment, of course, being a media agency. The second is, of course, delivering value to our clients. And the third, of course, is being a bridge between advertising, marketing, and e-commerce. whole-rounded approach. So really, really, it's exciting to just see that there's growth. The industry is becoming adaptive to the technologies. The metaverse world, as you have noticed, is increasing and growing, and we're really, really looking to create drive and to create value for our clients through the platforms that we have.
I love the fact that you mentioned the metaverse as well, because I think, in the world, people are, Facebook as it is has mentioned, that word, and people don't really get it. But I think, it's so awesome to see how people are stepping into that space and really starting to own the space and make it part of everything we're doing here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Just on metaverse and good old Facebook, I was reading on New York Times this morning, Meta 10 billion down in turnover from last year to this year. And it's going to be interesting to see how this entire virtual world is, as being developed by Zuckerberg and his crew, is going to reposition that brand, and will the hype and or reality of a bigger acceptance of the metaverse see the share price gaining again. But your 10 billion off the bottom line is just, irrespective of how many trillions they may have, is a substantial number. So I'm watching with keen interest to see if the entire proposition of metaverse is going to bring renewed energy and focus and value to the bottom line. Grace, there's a wonderful symbiotic relationship between your passion and association with these luxury brands and your understanding of media. And as I said to you earlier on, I've also noticed your absolute love for technology and all things digital. So bringing all of those together, it's obvious that you are going to come out with something as inspiring as the exclusive virtual mall. Can you give our listeners a little bit of an overview of how this vision actually came about and how you embarked on this project? Because there are multiple layers that really come about in a project of this nature.
Yeah. Thanks, Craig, once again. And I think really when you look at the vision and the drive from a business perspective, it's where the technology is shifting to. And for us, it's about keeping in touch with current and not necessarily being left behind. I am an early adapter to technology, and I always believe that it's always important to do things right and get them right the first time. So really, the vision of expansion is creating that platform for Africans where you can tap into, you can reach out to, you can connect with brands across Africa, and really just showcasing what we have in Africa. I'm very passionate about the continent, and I'm very passionate about what exists within the continent, which is really not fully exposed to the rest of the world. And the platform is aimed to drive that value, where we are encouraging brands, please come to the platform and get to experience. Give your customers an experience online, which is as good as the physical experience. And in addition to that, we aim, of course, to drive value for the brands that are connecting with us through the virtual mall, give them advertising, give them exposure, and really take their brands from Africa to connect them to the international markets as well. So some of the challenges, of course, is finding great technology team, especially the 3D being very new. But trust me that we have been able to find the best in the market. The team that we're working with, we created a vision. We wanted it to be the future for Africa. We created a 3D mall that really connects Africa with a very futuristic Africa approach. So when you just go into the mall, it's not just a mall that just looks like any other physical mall. It's a virtual mall that can be expanded to meet each and every requirement for Africa that you can think of. So we can onboard an entire country, and an entire country, we can onboard malls within that country, and we can onboard businesses within that country. And within each market, we are also able to provide advertising capability on the mall itself. So it is a full experience that you can get online. And we've really limited it to luxury because that's our niche. And we want to showcase what is the best products that are coming from our continent. So really having the right partners was a key component, and really forging that gap in technology to ensure that in Africa we have it. Let's utilize it and let's take it to the world. Thank you.
Amazing. Great. So we've covered e-commerce in detail and on the show before, and your Inspire exclusive virtual mall is in itself an e-commerce platform offering the highest level of user experience and brand immersion. How are you and your developing team going to ensure that you deliver the ultimate user experience that visitors that visit the virtual mall to expect, and specifically in respect to access the best brands one could imagine? A seamless payment, a delivery experience, and access to relevant and appealing content on an ongoing basis.
Wow. That's a big
quite the challenge, yes.
Yeah, but the thing is this, for us it's all about delivering that great user experience online, and we want our customers to feel that just as they would go to the store, they are getting that experience online as they would if they were physically represented. The other thing is also, of course, aggregating the best of brands on the site, each of them really creating their own unique experience for their customers that they connect with. We're working, of course, with the best of payment gateways. However, I need to caution that on our platform, what really happens, and to ensure that the experience is flawless and there are no gaps, is as soon as you want to make a purchase, you connect directly to the store's e-commerce platform. So really, that gives the store and the e-commerce platforms full control of how they engage with their customers, ensuring that if they have any stock issues, if they have any stock sales, they are handled directly between the platform and the store directly. So we just provide that experience to ensure that it's flawless and our customers have no issues whatsoever. Issues, of course, of delivery is fully dependent on the store, and it's all based on what the store has to offer their clients at that particular time. So for us, it's about the aggregation of the products on the exclusives, on the Inspire Exclusives virtual mall, and really providing the best of experience for the brands that are utilizing that platform. And think about it this way, if I may just expand on that point. If you are a tenant in a mall, you expect support from your caretaker or from the store, from the mall management, and that is where we play a part. Our responsibility is to ensure that the tenants that are aggregating their products and services on our platform, we make sure that they get their reach, and we also increase not only the online reach but also the physical reach through our platform. So that is where we bridge the gap for and deliver value for the stores that are aggregating on our platform. Thank you.
And it's amazing. It's amazing that you sort of embracing that. Yeah, I think Craig and I have had so many shows already where people are they tend to want to skew away from doing anything virtual, and they like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And yeah, looking at the way that you're putting it together, it becomes a brand experience. You can literally go and experience brands sitting in the comfort of your home, kind of thing, and still having that connection. I love the way that you put that together, and it makes so much sense.
Grace, just on you spoke about aggregating the best brands on the site and things like that. How do you go about actually identifying and selecting which of the luxury brands that actually are invited to participate in the mall? And the reason I ask it is, the likes of brands that we've covered, good international opportunity, South African made brands like Tsepo drip shoes, Barter shoes. These are top end fashion items that Casper Novest is wearing and endorsing and things like that. How do you get brands like that into this platform?
Another great question. And this is where awareness and of the platform really becomes very key when we engage with platforms like the Lunchtime marketing radio shows, which help us really to bridge the gap of create and giving the word out there of what we have that brands need to take advantage of. So in terms, when it comes to identifying, we work a lot with the media agencies as well, because they have a lot of these clients within their radar. And for us, it's about engaging with them to tell them what we have created that their own clients can take advantage of. So it's all about working with the agencies that represent those brands and ensuring that they are aware of what also is out there that they can in return offer to their clients to deliver value for their clients. So it's easy. And again, we drive awareness through the word of mouth. Through this show, I'm expecting, of course, that we will start getting brands connecting with us to understand how can they get involved. We say this mall is not limited to South Africa. It's an Africa experience.
Yeah.
And we invite the whole of Africa to connect with us to understand how they can take advantage of it. And of course, how they can come on board, aggregate their own products, and learn how they can also get more value out of it. Understand what are the costs involved in having a show both online and physical, and what value we deliver to them. Again, so those are some of the engagement models that we have in place to ensure that we are connecting with the brands and connecting with the brands correctly. So for us, our biggest tap and our biggest engagement model is through the agencies. But of course, we want to say that if you don't have an agency that represents you and you still want an experience on the mall, find out how you can participate. If you're in the business of luxury, this is a space you definitely need to be involved in.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. And I think, Craig, it sounds like, we hearing it once again when, successful brands and people who are out there making it happen. Again, it's a case of who you connecting to, how are you building those relationships, how are you making it happen. And from all the success stories we've had, in the last year, that's one of the contributing factors, that people are out there making it happen, speaking to people. It's a go kind of approach.
Yeah, I like that, Kevin. It's not sitting back and waiting for it to come to you, because you don't build great businesses like that. You have to lean in and really drive the action. And sometimes it's a dusty road filled with potholes. Other times it's a beautiful multi-lane freeway, and the experience is easier, and you're gaining much more traction. But really it's the hard yards, banging on the doors, building those relationships, and leveraging your contact base. That's another one of the key points that every single one of our previous guests has mentioned is, they've built good contacts throughout their entire journey, and they've never burnt a bridge, because somewhere along the journey you're going to need that contact again, or you're going to come across that contact again, and how do you leverage those opportunities to really build future value?
Yeah.
Grace, so Kevin, sorry, you want to say something?
So, Grace, as we near the end of the show today, we want to extend a huge word of thanks to you and for joining us today and sharing the incredible journey with us. It's, it's so amazing that as you say, this in itself could be an African experience, and I think a lot of people don't know it yet. They know about Africa, and they have that sense of, or an idea of what it would be like. But when you look at luxury brands and you go, well, this is what African luxury brands look like, I think it's a fantastic place to be and to be able to experience that. So amazing. Congratulations on this, because it's really cool.
Yeah, it is a great proposition. And I think I just want to mention before my closing statement is, I think a great example of an international luxury brand that is really being able to bring that parallel physical, best-in-class physical experience into the digital world is that of Ralph Lauren. And they developed a digital twin of their physical store, the Beverly Hills store, at the height of the pandemic. And they just really were able to continue transforming their business where people could not get into that beautiful immersive store experience. Yeah. And they were able to replicate that in the highest level of detail and engagement through the platform. So it might be worth having a look at what they did there as well and see how you can bring some of that immersive experience into your proposition, but also tap into brands of that caliber and get them into the digital shop front there. There's no doubt about that.
Craig, just one more. Like, Grace, don't you want to just remind us where we can go? Just remind us on the website. Just to
good question.
Go here to go and check this out.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kevin and Craig, of course, for the opportunity. And as I mentioned, we would like to challenge Africa. We would like to challenge anyone in the business of luxury to definitely come and experience the mall, get to understand what the technologies that we have and how you can leverage on the opportunities to really drive value for your brand. You can find us online on www.Inspire Xclusives, that is an X without the E, vrmall.com. Hopefully, we will be able to share those details with on the platform, and you will be able to get through to the mall through that link. You can also reach us at info@inspireafricaconnect.com if you want to know more about the mall and you want to know how you can get the rates or get to experience or connect with us to find out how your brand can be part of this experience that we are creating for Africa. Thank you.
Brilliant. So that, Inspire Exclusive VR Mall, and the exclusive is X missing the E.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
So, Craig, what do you have finally lined up for us for next week? Thank you, Grace. Thanks for that.
I'm looking forward to connecting more and really coming back to share more insights of where we are and which brands have come on board, and really continuing the journey of Africa and the best from Africa. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, I like that. It'd be great to just continue with some extra sound bites as we go through the next few weeks on where your development is going, what's any other learnings that you have that we can package up into small sound bites for young entrepreneurs and things like that. But Grace actually triggered the word which is definitely the key focus of the theme for next week, and that is the metaverse. So I really want to look beyond just e-commerce and retail and virtual retail to really what is happening in the metaverse. And there's a number of incredibly relevant articles, Kevin, and I think it's an ideal opportunity to introduce our listeners to the topic next week, especially on the back of some of the insights we've gained from Grace and the importance of understanding this virtual world and bringing people into a virtual world to connect and engage in ways that they've never had the opportunity to do previously. So touching on the metaverse for next week, definitely.
Fantastic. Grace Mumo, thank you for joining us. Craig, thank you for chatting to Grace and getting her on the show. It was a fascinating moment. And guys, if you want to check the lunchtime marketing segment, it goes out every Thursday at 12. And guys, thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic day and chat to you guys all soon.
Brilliant. And Grace, thanks. Look forward to much more in-depth conversation with you.
Thank you so much to both of you, and looking forward to really taking Africa to the next level. Thank you.
Fantastic. Pleasure.
Cheers for now.
Thanks, Kevin. Till next week.
Thank you.